In this video, we're going to be talking about a powerhouse Korean ingredient that you need in your skincare routine. That's coming up next. Yes, we are talking about poly-L-lactic acid, PLLA. PLLA is a biostimulator that is found in dissolvable sutures. It's also found in threads that they use for lifts in plastic surgeon's office and dermatologists. They also thicken the skin. PLLA is in the Korean facial filling line Sculptra, and it's also in Sculptra, which is an injectable. Now, we can inject polylactic acid into the skin. They usually do it in sort of wider areas. I had this done in 2016 before the skin games. It was a bit painful, but they did up here, they did a whole bunch. They can do your cheeks, and it's a really interesting injectable because it's not what you see is what you get, like with the other hyaluronic acid based fillers. They inject it, you're a little bit swollen, and then it goes back down, and about 3 to 4 weeks later it grows, your skin grows, because polylactic acid is a manufactured stem cell and it is found in dissolvable sutures. So if you think about when you get surgery, you definitely need to have dissolvable sutures, especially if it's internal surgery, because you want that area to come together and heal, right? And so that polylactic acid sends out this message: produce collagen, produce collagen. I've seen clients come in after a thyroidectomy who've had dissolvable sutures and they were kind of halfway dissolved, and I'm like, let's just not work on this area today. So dissolvable sutures are a wonderful thing, and polylactic acid, that's where it was first used, is in dissolvable sutures. So when they put it in skincare, it's tricky. It takes a little bit to figure out how to make it go into the follicle and wrap around the hair, but Sculptra did that, and I talked about that in a video a couple weeks ago. But it basically, with continued use of these products, the polylactic acid builds up in the follicle and sends out that produce collagen message 24/7, which is why it's been such a popular line. Now, there's also a professional mask that I do here in my treatment room where I'll do it once a week for about 5 weeks, and every time I put this mask on, it packs the follicles more and more with the polylactic acid. It dries down and can remain active in the skin for about 9 months after a series of 5, which is amazing. Polylactic acid is interesting because when it's injected underneath, it causes an inflammatory response. That's what's going on. It sends out that produced collagen message via this inflammatory response. I mean, it's not like a horrible inflammatory response. It's gentle. But within 3 weeks, people start to see and make lax skin look better because it will thicken the skin. It can, in older patients, it can start to help the skin re-adhere to deeper layers, which is really fascinating. And it also gives the skin a glow, that youthful glow. And so that's why I love polylactic acid. It works at such a deep level, repairing the skin. And one thing I noticed when I started doing these treatments, it's been 3-4 years ago, the facial filling series, that y'all know how much facial contouring massage and release work that I do, stripping out tension in the muscles in a gentle way, obviously. So I do all this release work, and I was noticing on my clients that the ones that I did series to, I would go in fully expecting to have to release trouble spots. I start to memorize my clients' trouble spots, and I would be going in and I would notice that they didn't have as much. And I was like, is this my imagination? Is something going on here? And so I talked to a few colleagues, and they were noticing the same thing, because I do such intense work with releasing fascia at all these different levels and releasing emotions that just etch their way into our face over the years, wrinkles via emotions, and to feel that and not have to do as much work. I was like, what? This is awesome. Yeah, but if you think about it, it's getting more circulation because of that produced collagen response in the cells. And so it's drawing more resources to the area that polylactic acid is. So when you apply any of the Scopla line, any of the polylactic acid line, this goes in, it's not like getting a big dose of Sculptra, but it is working polylactic acid into every follicle. And so after all the good stuff is worn off, all the antioxidants and the moisture and all that good stuff, the polylactic acid is it's stuck at the top of the pore there, and that's sending out that produced collagen message. So it's like a constant rejuvenation of the skin, and that's why these have been so popular. Koreans are crazy about their polylactic acid, but you want to make sure it's a high quality polylactic acid, because I've seen the Pro Mask I can't sell to consumers, only for licensed skincare pros, but I have seen knockoffs of this mask online, and anytime you see somebody just peeling this mask off really easy, it's not doing a thing, because polylactic acid first has to be really high grade, and that's what's found in the Sculpla products, because it took them 8 years to figure out how to make this mask. And the mask is super fascinating how it works, but there's a serum that's really packed with polylactic acid, high grade, and then you put on a hydrated mask on top of it and seal it all up, and then over 30 minutes it goes and pushes the polylactic acid into the follicles at a deep level. So when you take that mask off, it's almost like waxing. I mean, when I take it off of clients, I make sure that I free up their eyebrows, because I want to take any eyebrows with it. I've done that just once. Yeah, it comes off. I mean, it's hard. It's almost like waxing your face. It comes off, and that is a sign of a very good treatment, because you want to make sure that just pushes deep into the follicle, and then it will take 3 days to dry underneath. So I've seen these cheapo masks. Well, actually, they're not even that cheap, but I've seen them, and you're supposed to apply it once a week for 6 weeks, but they just peel off. And so that's not pushing anything. Next time you wash your face, that polylactic acid is just going to wash right off. So make sure you only accept the best. The polylactic acid in the Sculpla line, the Sculpla facial filling mask, which is done in your esthetician's office, studio. Those really are the best results that I have seen with the mask. So polylactic acid is just such a wonderful anti-aging ingredient. It just gives the gift that keeps on giving. It's like the glitter of skincare. It just stays and stays. Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye now.